All right, so that was a song called Clockwork, and essentially, there's a couple things happening here. First off, let's talk about the music part itself. It's two chords. It's basically G flat major 7 for 2 bars, and then it goes to B flat minor 9 for 2 bars. And the one thing also about this is even though it sort of has like a double time feel, but it's also got a halftime feel. So like the click to this is like around 128 BPM, but it's felt more kind of like a halftime double time thing. So as you can probably tell, I was using an effect to get that low subby bass sound. And so what I'm doing there is I'm using an octave pedal, and essentially I have everything turned off except for the first octave. So the direct line where you could hear some of the bass sound, the direct level rather, that's all the way down. And the second octave, which is like the lower sub octave, that's all the way down. So it's just the one octave. So the way it works is if I play a G flat right here, and I step on the octave pedal, it puts it down an octave, and it gives it that sine wave quality that gives you like a synthesizer type effect. And I learned to do this from listening to bass players like Tim LaFave and Jonathan Marin and different people like that who were trying to really evoke synth bass sounds when they were trying to do, or not trying, when they were doing live drum and bass and live electronic music using like more traditional instruments versus like sequencers and stuff. So it's a really great thing to employ if you're a 4-string player and you want to have more range, because you can actually get like a pretty, it'll track pretty well. I mean, it starts to break up a little bit around like what the B string would be, but it's definitely a usable sound depending on like what you're doing. So basically what's happening is I'm just playing like really sparsely, and it starts out I'm just playing longer notes, and then I'm starting to use chord tones. So that's the third to B flat, which is D flat. And then I even use the 5th at one point. And that's essentially what's happening on that line. I'm peppering it sometimes with a little bit of like B flat minor pentatonic. And that works really well. So that's it. And then the second part is the syncopated part, which comes on the upbeat of the first group of 16th notes on beat 1. So it's the E of 1E and so it's and then the notes that I'm using, essentially what I'm doing here is I'm playing the root, so G flat, playing D flat, and then I'm playing the 9, which is A flat, and then I'm going back to G flat. So if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's that part. And then I'm playing the exact same thing or the same type of line when I get to the B flat minor 9 part. I'm playing the root, 5th, and the 9. So we have B flat, F, and then C. So that part, I have a slower version of this also. So if you want to get used to playing on the upbeats, that's going to help you out. It's polyrhythmic in a way, so you definitely want to make sure that like you're feeling like where it lands. It's very tricky at the speed it's at. Like it sounds sort of like an illusion, but the slower track should help, and that'll be included in this. But anyway, together it sounds like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, and then it ends on a G flat. So anyway, yeah, this is kind of a fun, simple groove, and it basically leans on using minimalism and sound maybe more than having a lot of notes to really make it stand out and complement the stuff that's going on. The drum part by itself actually has a lot of momentum, so the bass doesn't need to do as much in some cases, and sometimes the way to make a great bass line is also the kind of sound you choose to use. The other thing is, just to make sure, if you are going to experiment with an octave pedal, you want to make sure also that you don't have your tone all the way off, because having the extra highs will help it track a little bit better. But anyway, have a great time working this out. This one's called Clockwork.